So I'm sure you've been following online line scores from the last games, semi-finals. Looking them up myself to find out. I relay them back to yourselves. So Kim of Korea having the hammer in the first end. Sidorova therefore playing the first stones. So giving ice on the edge of the 8th foot to begin with. Testing to see how much the swing is going to be. I've had quite a consistent swing of about 4.5 to 5 foot this week. Key thing, of course, is it has been consistent across the weekend, which is exactly what the teams are looking for. Also, you want to be able to go onto the ice and know roughly what the rocks are going to do. So I'll give you the scores from the semi-finals, which I'm afraid I myself missed. We had Osland versus Sidorova. Of course, Sidorova won the game as they're playing the final. The score went 5-4 to Sidorova. We look at the line scores. Close game, blanking the first end, 2s and 1s the rest of the game. Total 5-4. The game we saw our winners from the quarter final this morning, Team Jaggi playing against Kim of Korea, Yoonjung Kim. Again, low scoring game, one end blanked, just 2s and 1s exchanged really. Jaggi taking a steal in the 8th end, but not being enough, and losing 4-5 to Kim. So I'm afraid Alan's had to pop off and deal with something at the Glynhill Hotel, but he's going to be joining us later. So there will be 2 commentators, but at the moment it's just myself, Jonathan Heggie. My role is on the development group of the Brayhead Curling Development Group. I look after our websites, our Facebook, the web streaming stuff. So this is how I've landed myself in this today. Quite quiet in the rink this afternoon. We'll get busier, I'm sure. It's only 5 minutes into the game. Gallery looking pretty full. We've had to reserve seats for the coaches to make sure they do get a seat. Give you an idea of just how busy it's going to be this afternoon. So Yoonjung Kim and Sidorova coming both from section B. So when they played in session 5, that was game on Saturday. Am I thinking that correct? That would have been Saturday morning session. Game went 6-5. Yoonjung Kim against Sidorova. So obviously Sidorova trying to turn that around to make sure she wins today, but teams have to come together. That is the record so far. 1 to Kim, nothing to Sidorova. So first end going as we probably expect. Teams testing the ice, testing each other. Unless Kim can build up a strong head, looking to blank in the first end. Not sure if she's gonna score in the end. She does take at least a couple of shots, so rolling it nicely. That's just what she's looking for. Those of you that tuned in just for the stream will have seen a little video I was playing of the Koreans when they were last year at Brayhead. It was 2 years ago now, and they entertained the club curlers after the turkey shoot one night. Took to the ice and formed a dance they'd been practicing in their free time. I don't really know what free time they had. They seemed to be living in the rink about 14 hours a day, but when they did go home, they're having good fun. Obviously in the hotel room practicing the dance routine. We've got a break in the game. I'll try and show it to you, but otherwise you can view it on the Facebook page that we have. It's supposed to be January, February, I think 2013. Yeah, scroll down and have a look at that. We've also got an American team that was over at the Glynhill at that sort of time. Did their version of What Does the Fox Say, and they did their version of What Does the Skip Say. So it's on there too if you fancy a wee look at that as well. But I'm sure you'll be not tuning into that anytime soon. We're watching our feature game, final of the Glynhill Ladies 2015. So we're just taking that Kim stone away, just to stay in the head. Both teams happy to see the other make a mistake in these sorts of situations, willing to build up ahead. That's how we have seen previous games go. But, Kim only having in their section at least winning 4 of their games and drawing 1 against Madeline DuPont's team. Sidorova winning 4 as well, but losing 1 of their games to Kim, funnily enough. So two very strong teams. So it's obviously a bit late in the weekend, but if you're listening, I had been encouraging you to come down to the curling arena to watch. We do have rink-side seating. Sheet 1 and sheet 8 have been carpeted. You can't really get closer to the action than you can at the Glynhill. Sometimes if you're sitting on sheet 1 and the ladies are playing on sheet 2, you're only a foot or so away. Superb atmosphere and ambiance here. The bar is starting to get busy now. So I'm here by myself at the moment in the commentary booth. I am commentating and I'm running production software at the same time, so I do try and keep both going at the same time. But if I'm quiet or the cameras aren't switching, I'm either talking or switching cameras. I'm sure you can work out which is what I'm doing at the time. So if you want to get a shout out today, maybe some relatives of Team Sidorova or Kim are listening, please do email us at live@coverbrayhead.co.uk. If you want to shout out to friends or family, feel free to email in. You've got questions or topics you'd like me to talk about. This being Sidorova's last stone at the end. Kim having hammer. Sidorova hitting and staying with that shot. Make sure Kim, if she misses, Sidorova gets a 1. If Kim hits and stays. It's also a good outcome for Sidorova, as Kim therefore loses the hammer. But Kim, I'm sure, will be looking to blank this end. Should retain the hammer, and then we'll go into the second end. Sweeper, just make sure that that stone does roll out there, and make sure the end is blanked. That's the start of the second end. Our final of the Glynhill Ladies National 2015. Seeing Team Kim of Korea against Sidorova of Russia. First end was blanked. Kim retaining the hammer, going into the second end here. So we've had 3 Russian teams here this weekend. A junior team, Denkina. And we've had 2, I guess what you call more experienced teams of Sidorova and Zarkova. Sidorova, I guess you could say, are the number 1 team for the Russians in this competition. A very experienced rink. They've competed in the Olympics in Sochi just last year, and they won the Europeans the year before in 2013, and they I think just missed out on the gold in Champrey in this year's championships. That was slightly unfortunate there. They can be the guard clean it off, but the shooter rolling onto their own stone. A little bit of a mistake on angles there. Still out in the game though. So the Greens, not exactly being inexperienced themselves, have done very well at the Pacific Asia Championships, and they are named as the Korean national team. They got 3 silvers at the Pacific Juniors, and got bronze at I was going to see the senior championships, but definitely not old enough to be seniors. But they took a bronze in 2013. I don't know if you can hear in that background, but got "Happy Birthday" being sung to one of the other competitors here. So, Greens were out in Bern last weekend, playing the Bern News Ladies Cup. Not quite sure they got on there. Find that out. An email yesterday to say that our good friend Mito Exon is listening from Canada. I must say your home baking has been missed by myself this weekend at Diamond Lowe's Cafe. But we hope you're doing well out in Canada. Great to hear from you. Mita somewhat inspiring the name for our new junior club at Braehead, the Braehead Rockers. Rockers being the name given to many junior curling clubs in Canada. We took our inspiration, and our new club is the Braehead Rockers. Of course, Braehead Rockers not really possible without support from people and some companies alike. Top of our live page, we've got some adverts for those that are very happy and very proud to sponsor the Braehead Rockers. But if you yourself haven't been enjoying the stream this weekend, or feel you just want to give back to curling, we've got our junior development fund. You can find out all about that homepage, and then on the right hand side is a click here to support our juniors, or you can go to the juniors tab and then down to junior development fund. Find out all the information there, what you can do to give us a hand. So that stone there not on cover at all, leaving it quite open for attack. Seaver's going to have to work this hard. Stone really starting to move there. Oh, and just another way there. Kim is going to try and just take the edge of that stone, not roll out, but hopefully get in behind her guard. Make things a little bit difficult for Sidorova. We start to build up the 2 she really wants. A bit of a shame there, just over curled a little bit, so we weren't able to hold it, but no big deal for Kim. Would have liked to be in the house and behind cover. No problem. If you do hear me go quiet this weekend, I'll probably just tap the mic off. Chances are it's somebody trying to have a wee conversation with me, or if say to be polite and not cough into your ears, as it were. We hit 5,000 viewers on Friday evening, about 10 o'clock at night, and we're fast approaching 7,500 viewers now. So glad to see that some people do use the streaming we put on. It's great to hear. Any feedback at all after the weekend, please do get in touch. My email address is webmaster@corbehead.co.uk. There are links at the bottom of almost all our pages on the website. And just it says contact site admin, you can click in that and then get in touch with me. More than happy to get some feedback. Before we're talking about thanking helpers and people that have been supporting, I need to thank Interplay Head. They provide our upstream bandwidth that allows us to stream this. It wasn't for that, to stream in exceptionally low quality. I doubt you could make anything out, but it's superb. They've provided that for us. Into Braehead being one of the Into shopping centres in Scotland, it's a fantastic place. It's complete free parking, and entry to this competition has been free, so you could have had a completely free weekend if you're living in the west of Scotland and seen some of the, the best colours in the world. Fantastic deal. Course 2016 we'll see into Braehead, the Braehead Arena, and into Braehead Curling Arena will host the Europeans. Right, so you see that. Section A will be held down in the Braehead Hockey Arena, which was the home to the Braehead Clan, which I got a lift through my door the other day to say it's Scotland's fastest growing spectator sport. I've seen the crowds wait in, I can totally believe that. Not quite rivaling an Old Firm match, but certainly more than I had ever seen a hockey match before at Braehead. And Section B in the Europeans will be played up here in the curling arena. I'm not quite exactly sure what format that will fall as. It's an 8-sheet rink. At the moment it's just 6 sheets, as sheet 1 and sheet 8 are carpeted during the entirety of the Glynhill. So Kim, being last stone here, being forced into making the draw to get her single at the end. Doing that very comfortably. So going to third end, it's going to be 1-2 Kim, and nothing so far to Sidorova. But I'm sure Sidorova will consider that end a bit of a victory, forcing Kim into taking a single there. the score just been confirmed for us by our chief umpire, Colin Melrose. That's Indran Kim 1 and Sidorova nothing. Sort of a team they're just trying to make the most of Kim Guard, but not quite coming around far enough. Is see at least half the stones from the hack, I would say. Seems to be a nominated shot. If we can take this away slightly on the right hand side of the nose as we look at it, and just flop in behind the red guard, that would just be perfect. Stone just hanging out there a little bit too much, and it's unfortunate. Just like that, System Stone Sidorova is in behind the guard. Almost perfectly, I'm afraid. A draw around, I'm sure it's background or hack quick would be enough to chip that out to one side to have another attack at it. Looks like there's going to be on a corner guard now. Even maybe put something in the house, put the pressure on Kip. My calling of the shots has been a little bit all over the place this weekend. I am a curler. It was an ice tech for the last 6 years, and those other ice techs that may be listening will know that mixing work and pleasure isn't always the best. So I've fallen out of favour with my curling game. Not played about 5.5 years. Just got back into it at the start of this season. Felt an incredible crunch in my knee, and been to the doctors now and found out I got a torn cartilage. So I've not curled in about 6 years. So you need to forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty on my tactics this weekend. We had Dr. Gary McFarlane, MBE, chair of the development group, commentating the other day. A seasoned curler playing at the Scottish seniors last weekend. He won several of his matches, so it's pretty good going. So he has got quite a good grounding of tactics. We've had Alan Sloan on commentating our quarter final. Hopefully to have him back. His knowledge of teams is fantastic. He's one of the team contacts. He gets in touch with the teams. Oh dear, it's not wonderful there. Taking their own shooter out by the way of the Kim Redstone. But yeah, Alan gets in touch with all the teams beforehand. Produces this absolutely fantastic program for the competition. I've been using it basically as my Bible this weekend. Everything you expect: rules of play, draws, team list, but it's also got a general blurb almost about every single team that's coming and a photo to accompany it. Just absolutely fantastic work by Alan. He's of course assisted by all the volunteers this weekend. And they've been rounded up by Wendy. So big thanks to Wendy and our team of red-shirted volunteers. I've had Brian Bowden. He's been in charge of equipment, and I've seen him moving lots of different banners and bits and bobs around this weekend. And I was going to say I've seen David David Horn, the Braid liaison. He's been about this weekend. But what I was going to say was that I've not seen much of David McRoberts this weekend. I've seen him for about 2 seconds and then he's straight back out the door again. He's been helping out with transportation this weekend. The competition puts on transport between the hotel and the rink for the girls. I think it's very much appreciated. There's no walk involved, especially today when it was rather cold outside here in Glasgow. I woke up this morning to a flat tyre, so I just managed to get here. I borrowed my fiance's car, just very kind of her. So you can get coverage today. Yeah, big thank you to all the volunteers this weekend. The bar staff here as well have been fantastic. A big warm welcome been given to everyone that comes in. The food's been fantastic as well. And of course the ice staff, staff of Brayhead, I've heard it being said that some of the girls have said this is some of the best ice they've ever played on, and that's high praise indeed. I know Chris Noble's a handsome man, maybe that's them trying to get in his favour. But any sort of compliment with their ice in our facility here is warmly received. So Kim assisting 2 here. She has 1 guard up, but it's not really protecting anything at the moment. Sidorova just trying to make the most of this and just draw behind the guard. Weight looking pretty good here. Just looking for this to stop front of the button, don't want to take it too deep. Can sit on it, and that'll be an LSD shot. They almost scored on a 0, it's almost covering the pin there. Nicely tucked behind the guard. Team Kim just wanted to come up and sit just a little bit closer than that. Would love to have frozen a stone. Make sure there's no angle at all for Sidorova to remove the stone. But with the guard just sitting on what we look as our right hand side of the central line, it doesn't look like there's an angle into the red sitting at the top of the 4 foot to get that removed and make sure that Team Kim leaves their yellow stone behind. So 5 rocks left in this end. This was like the last rock of Sidorova's third. If I look at my Bible here, I'm sure about exactly who that was. So third is listed as Margarita Fomina. Again, I think Team Sidorova, just like Team Kim, I would have liked to have seen that stone maybe just a little bit closer. That yellow possibly leaving just a little bit exposed there. Kim to be able to take that away, flop in behind the guard. A lot of encouragement here on this stone, so we're really having to work this hard to make sure they get the right angle here. Definitely move things about if that yellow stone and the button does go. I'm fairly certain that yellow and 8-foot ring is out counting now. There are two 8-foot biters of Kim's at the back of the house, quite comfortably. Nice to see so many stones in the house for a change. Not quite a guddle, but better than black ends we saw. The 3, possibly 4 of them in the previous game. We commentated on this morning, the quarter final. This possibly Sidorova's attempt to make sure she blocks up the left hand side of the house there, make sure Kim's got any opportunity to draw around and cut with the yellow that's at the back of the house there. Or is she possibly just trying to put something in the top of the 12-foot to make a play on later on? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure the next 40 seconds or so will tell us. Yep, Garden put off to make sure Team Kim don't have an easy job at all of coming back round. That the sole red guard into the back of the yellow there, that quite nicely tied up. Team Kim looking at angles here. Dropping a little picture in picture for you, see if you got angles on to push that yellow onto the red onto yellow, to make sure red sits one. Possibly Kim, you think she can get angles just right, she can get rid of both yellows here? I'm not quite sure that's possible. A little chat there to Leslie Ingham Brown, a member of the development group. He's been down taking photographs. Those of you that have been tuning in this weekend will have seen them played over a little slideshow I had on for you earlier. Those photos I'm sure will be appearing on the internet at some point, either on the Coverbread website or the Glynhill Ladies International website. Check back there soon to see them. Also some cracking photos. My favourite is definitely a little youngster, no much bigger than a curling rock, sitting on top of one of our spare rocks here. Again, I'm not sure we've got the permission of mum and dad to get that photo online, but if we do, it's absolutely smashing. It's just absolutely brilliant. We have to show that to them later in life and say, you were there, sitting on top of rocks. It's difficult to make jokes with myself. Hope you appreciate that. Okay, I'm just easing off of this supine just now. Stone just staying high. Not curling as much as the team was expecting there. Stone's very sensitive to any pushing and pulling as they are released. A lot of extra encouragement at the end, turning the handle a little bit more, getting a bit of a shove. It's got a big impact. We've seen that quite a lot this weekend, especially with heavier rocks. Sidorova looking just to draw down and beat that red stone. This will be her last stone, indeed the last stone of the end. Kim having had the hammer in the first end, blanking and retaining into the second end, and being forced to take a single. In the second end, making the score 1-0, going into the third end, therefore Sidorova having the hammer. So Stone just staying too wide there, nowhere near the button, so the team's just kicking it off and tying up the end. So that should see us peels going to the fourth end. As soon as we get it confirmed, they'll get the score up for you. Score is confirmed, so that's one apiece going to the fourth end. Closely fought final, what we like to see. Good bit of action, like to see it go full 8 end. Fantastic for us, spectators. Sidorova testing her opponent's steel and nerve by putting something quite aggressive into the house. Slipped a little bit further back than I think Sidorova was looking for, but still something in play. Can think about it, but what I think is very brave of these top level curlers, they can see something in the head and just ignore it completely, and still play their game they've got set in their mind and put something into the wing as a corner guard. I think this sort of brief advice that was given to me as a junior is still well known by all curlers. If you've got the hammer, take your two. If you don't have a hammer, steal your one. That's how you win games. But of course, problem is you got an opposition that are trying to do the exact same thing. That was nice played by Sidorova, just putting that stone behind the guard. Can't see too much of that, maybe about half the rock from the hack. I'm afraid the bar is busy, so I can only see what you see at home. I don't have any other special views I'm not showing you at all. A lot of encouragement for Injong Kim to the sweepers here. Really having to work this hard to make sure he gets not only past the guard, but is up to that yellow stone as much as she would like. So a lot of separation there. Short guard up there. Trying to protect the stone that is sitting shot. Skip Kim out, having a look at the angles there. We can take the stone, run it back into the house, take away the red. Well, pardon me, not take away the reds at all. It's our own stone. Was to push that red back onto the yellow and take the guard yellow away at the same time. If that's the result, Sidorova starting to still a bit of momentum in the centre. Exactly what she's looking for there. Not quite sure if she has been lucky enough to get that shot rock in the house. Sidorova just having a little look there. So in the bar today, on the large TV, as I call it, we're showing what you can see here. You don't hear the audio, but at least get to see the picture. So quite a few people that can't fit in the gallery and don't want to brave the cold are sitting in the bar watching that just now. So big hello to them, even though they can't hear me. absolutely superb stone there. Angle's just what I'm looking for. Was looking like a compliment for Sidorova. A couple of stones later, looking much more comfortable for Kim here. Nicely in behind that red stone there. Sidorova just having another check whether she thinks that's excuse me, that's Ms. Galkina, seeing if she thinks that stone's there or not. Again, quite difficult for me to look from here. I just seen Ms. Marilla Nicholas of the Glynhill Hotel walk in. She's got some reserve seating for her. Again, it's quite busy. She did need to have that seat reserved. She's some from the Glynhill Hotel. We see Alan Sloan would join me very shortly. Help me commentate. He's missed out on what is really an excellent first few ends of the game here. I think Team Kim would have liked to have seen the red stone just a little bit from the top of the yellow. Make sure there's no risk at all of it being removed. Doesn't look like it's going to be taken away at this time though. Sidorova, I think, indicating she wants the rock just to come down on freeze on top of that red. Make sure nothing can be taken away without something being left behind. But yellow's definitely sitting short at the moment. Seen this end swing both ways very much. Nobody fully dominant here. The last stone of Korea's third. Really working this hard to make sure it gets past that guard. A lot of effort there, but unlucky just coming off there. But certainly shift the guard over, put that biter in the house. No debate now whether it's county or not, and has opened up that side of the rink to open up his yellows. Don't know if there's an angle of attack there where he could remove both yellows and Kim sure to stay in the head. Also, what happened this stone? Wait to see what Miss Sidorova does to complicate matters for the Koreans. Now and again on our Ustream channel you will see some adverts. We don't receive any money or any income from that, but it does mean that we don't need to pay for the download bandwidth. That stone gets removed. That's absolutely fantastic stone. You can hear, probably hear the applause in the background there. Very well received. As I was saying, we don't receive money for the adverts. We don't control the adverts either. But it does mean that you get to enjoy this at home completely free. And I see Mr. Alan Sloan about to join me for some commentary. Just about to see the very end of an exciting game here, or very end of an exciting end, I should say.
Well, hello, John. Sorry, I've been running around a bit today, but glad to join this final in the fourth end.
No problem. I was just commenting that Mrs. Nicholas from the Glynhill has appeared, so I assume you wouldn't be too far behind her.
All right. I haven't said hello yet, but we'll attend to that shortly.
I'm afraid you've missed what's been an excellent end here, Alan.
Well, still in progress.
Indeed, you're quite lucky. Neither team being too dominant at all.
Good to see. Well, that's the quality we would expect from this final of this young Korean team who have really impressed us over this weekend. They've hardly put a foot or a stone wrong, and been very impressive to watch. But of course, Anna Sidorova is a very experienced campaigner, one of the top ranks in the world. I think they're seeded number 7 in the world rankings. So we'd expect a cracking final here, and it looks like we're getting one. So we've got the Koreans with last stone. This will be the last stone of the end, John.
Yep, drawing against 4, but this should be bread and butter stuff for a skip. Put one right in the pot of lids.
Yeah, just like you and I. Yeah. Of course, it's always a test. Doesn't matter what level you're playing at. The pressure of 4 stones lying against.
Maybe not quite confident of her. Maybe not quite confident of her draw weight. She seems to be signaling that she'd maybe like to hit that yellow on the right hand side there. But no, I think they're going for the draw now.
Yep, draw onto it. It's there as a wee backstop. So, last stone of this, the fourth end, delicately poised at 1-all. The Koreans laying off the sweeping. They're just coming on now, so they must be quite pleased with the weight. Looks pretty good. They're up again. And a perfect draw, just nestling against the Russian stone to take 1 point there for the Koreans, so they move into a 2-1 lead after the fourth end. So what we're going to get in the next 4 ends, if it's the same as this, is going to be pretty exciting and very close, too close to call. Jonathan just adjusting my headpiece. So Koreans with first stone, the fifth end. Probably looking to put one on the button. Seems to be the standard practice at this level. I was trying my best when announcing the teams on.
You did very good. I could hear you. It was superb. Yeah.
I don't know if the Koreans understood it, but everyone else seemed to. So Young Mi Kim is the lead for the Korean team and has put up a guard on the centre line.
We must find out what the Koreans thought of being bagpiped onto the ice.
Well, they were certainly clapping their hands and waving to the crowd up in the gallery here, so I think they enjoyed it. They might not have heard the bagpipes before, of course. It's a new experience for them. So, Kat Galkina just drawing past the guard, looking to put a stone pretty close to the button on the centre line, and perfectly played. So quite an attacking call. No bother with a corner guard this end. So the Koreans looking to come and freeze onto that stone, or maybe just tap it a foot further back. And sweepers just following the stone down. They're not really interested in just moving in now. It looks as if it's hanging a bit wide there. Just coming up to brush against the yellow Russian stone there and just nudge it a wee bit closer into line with the guard that's already in place, and the red Korean stone lying adjacent to it. So Anna calling Ekaterina Galkina again to possibly come up and freeze on that. Russian sweepers just watching the stone carefully and waiting for the curl to start. It's starting to come in now.
I'm sure you'll be able to give me an answer to this with some authority, Alan. Miss Galkina a model in her spare time?
I believe so, Jonathan. I can't say I'm a great net surfer, but I believe there are various, I don't know what you call them on YouTube, films or whatever of both her and Anna Sidorova. Seem to have a minor secondary career, but they're certainly two very attractive and glamorous young Russian ladies, so, and pretty good curlers, pretty good.
Indeed, yes.
So the Koreans switching to the out turn now, looking to come down and freeze on the shot stone, and it's coming in very nicely, well judged weight, and freezes, well, 4 inches apart now, and I think the Russians are still lying shot, but they're behind the tee, although they're covering the button. But that Korean stone is there just to be nudged up and pinch the shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to move that back yellow too much. Make sure that you can't be removed either.
No, it'd be useful as a backstop. So Anna Sidorova is having a good close look at this. These stones are reminding me actually of last year's final when Betty Wang and Miriam Ott had a titanic struggle, and the stones were more or less covering the whole of the forefoot. It was quite fascinating to watch. So anyway, Anna Sidorova has elected to take off the guard. Second player, Alexandra Saitova, clearing the guard perfectly and opening up this cluster of stones that are accumulating round the button, as we call it. So time for the Koreans to think, well, is it too early to shuffle them around, or will I just put another one in there?
Quick test for you, Alan. These teams have met already in this competition. Do you know what the score was?
Uh, from memory, which is diminishing as this weekend goes on, I believe the Koreans were successful that they beat Anna
Indeed they were.
5-4.
Yeah.
5-4, was it?
I think it's maybe been 6-5, but that's
Six-
pretty close. I give you that one.
All right, well that's very kind of you, John. Thank you. At least I got the 1 point difference right. So it's interesting that all the Korean team, well, what we would call their surnames is Kim. It's Kim, 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 and Kim, and their alternate player is also Kim, as is one of their coaches. So
I think somebody's been copying and pasting in the schedule.
So another draw into the Guddle just nudges one of the yellow Russian stones, which pushes one of the red Korean stones a foot back. So we are getting one huge collection of stones down here. Anna thinking of putting another yellow Russian stone just in front of those two red Koreans. It's giving quite tight ice. Might be wanting to just spring the red Korean stone just to move it behind the tee line. Looking to be playing about a hack weight maybe. So Alexandra Sidorova playing her second stone for the Russians. The sweepers not being called into action. So, well, nudges the Korean stone, which in turn nudges the next red Korean stone, and it now looks to be lying short by, oh, I don't know, 0.54 of an inch maybe, John?
That's old money to me, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm not very good in centimetres, so...
Not sure what she was hoping to achieve with that last rock.
Well,
shifted just a little bit around.
Yeah, maybe just change the angle slightly, but I still think the back yellow Russian stone is going to act as a partial block, as and when the Russians decide to try and move those two reds. At the moment, Koreans are lying one shot, and the back yellow Russian stone is second, and then the Koreans have that other red just about 1 o'clock on the overhead. So Koreans looking as if they're taking about 3 feet of ice. So possibly looking at a guard of some sort, or maybe they're nursed it in to add to this ever-growing collection of stones in the head. Korean sweepers just dusting the ice at the moment, now called into action, sweeping hard. So the stone begins to curl, and they're putting in a guard, but 4 feet short of the house, almost perfectly in line, maybe a wee bit to the left as we look from this end of the ice. So maybe Anna looking to position a stone out to the side that she can maybe use later. However, this stone's got a lot more running on it, taking out the guard.
Regardless, it's supposed to be driven straight into the pack.
Straight
there.
pack. Oh well.
Interesting.
And raises the red Korean guard, and unfortunately removes one of her stones that was in the 4 foot. So, but the Koreans still just lying in one shot, but the Russians in the danger position that their second shot is behind the tee. So, Koreans giving about 1.5 feet, 2 feet of ice, maybe looking to chip that red Russian stone just and roll in towards the centre house, to give her sorry, the red Korean stone, looking to roll in. Sweepers called on early. Might be looking just to protect that stone, avoiding the Russians using it to fall into the house. Yeah, quite a long guard. The Korean sweepers working hard to get that one over the hog line, but successfully done. I don't know if it's, I think they can, Anna indicating again that looking to raise her own yellow or get it out the way. It's fairly good lines, going to drive it into take out the last Korean stone, so a bit of tit for tat going on here. It's when they get into a guddle like this, John, it's very hard to second guess just what they're thinking.
I've seen that to our audience at home. I've not played curling in a long time. I feel I'm very, very rusty in guessing what's going to happen next.
Well, yeah, you're doing a good job so far.
So there is still a red out there, just touching the tram line. That is slightly protecting this house. You can't quite see it in the shot there, but it is definitely there.
Mm-hmm. So, ice been given about for an out turn. Maybe trying to protect the red Korean stone that is lying the shot. Again, the sweeper's standing off this stone at the moment, just waiting till it comes into the line requested. And plays a guard, but 2.5 feet short of the front of the house. Pretty well covering the shot stones, so the Russians probably looking to remove that again, because Anna Sidorova does have last stone this end, so she'll want to try and keep her route in there to work out something to make sure she counts the points rather than the Koreans making a steal. So Anna Sidorova in the hack. Playing with weight. Successfully removes one of the red Korean guards, keeping that route into the middle open. So I guess again we'll see a Korean guard in here, John, I think, just protecting that line again.
Yep, definitely. There's still one Korean guard quite far out there, but definitely something a bit closer to the heads.
Yeah. So Korean skip, Yeon Young Kim, play her final stone of this end.
Must be quietly confident that her stone is the shot stone in the head there.
I think so, yes. Giving wide ice, trying to replace the guard. Again, the sweeper standing off the stone, waiting for it to come on to the desired line, and looks like they've judged it pretty well. And the stone just touching, not straddling, just touching, but probably a better place this time, because I don't think between the long guard and the short guard, and having a look to see if there's a route through the middle. So Margarita Femina in the head for the Russian team, and Anna looking at the shot and Margarita hasn't indicated ice yet. Anna having a conversation with Kat Gilkina and Alexandra Sidorova up at the other end. They've got a problem here. I think she's looking to try and run through the gap between the two guards, hit her own yellow stone and try and drive out the two red Korean stones.
Wow.
Probably sacrifice her own back stone, but if she hits it on the nose, then she would lie the shot. So here we go. Good running weight. Sweepers called on straight away. Off again, on again. She's through the gap. What a shot! What a shot!
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Removes the two Korean counters and counts one shot herself. But that is as good as you see, I think, John.
I would have to agree with you there.
So the Russians.
If you want to see that shot again, all these games are archived on our YouTube channel. You can get to that by visiting the Coverbury Head website. If you are a YouTube user, please do give us a wee subscribe when you're there.
Yes, so we're always interested in the feedback that we get. The Coverbury Head website does a tremendous job, not just for the Braehead curlers and the Braehead Curling Development Group, but on occasions like this and other competitions that are open competitions that are held here, we have this facility of web streaming. So do as John says, have a look at this, because this final is certainly worth watching. So all square, 2 shots each after 5 ends. Last stone advantage handed to the Koreans, and lead player for the Russian Sidorova rink, Katerina Galkina, to deliver the first stone of the 6th end. I suppose if we're looking far enough ahead, that the Koreans might be quite happy to have last stone in the 6th end, which, if everything goes according to plan, would give them last stone the 8th end, the crucial 8th end, the last end of the game. So maybe advantage very slightly with the Koreans, but we know anything can happen after shots like that last one. So the Russians put in the centre line guard, about 10 feet short of the head. Korea, no doubt, will be aggressive and try and draw around that onto the button. First stone of this end by Young Mi Kim.
Tell me, Alan, is this game running to full 8 ends, or do we have a time limit in place here?
Very good question, John. I would hope, being a final, we'll have all 8 ends. But we'll leave that one to Colin Melrose, the chief umpire. So that Korean stone just biting the forefoot at the front, almost on the centre line, touching it but not straddling it. And Anna Sidorova giving almost draw weight ice, wanting to certainly come up to that stone, maybe just give it a small tap back. Sweepers hanging off, just nursing it in, waiting for it to draw. It's coming now. And just gives the Korean stone a small nudge just to put it fully into the forefoot, but less than a foot separating those two stones. So the Koreans again looking to build up a stack. Sweepers coming on early this time, so stone's hanging quite wide at the moment with all this sweeping and holding the line. Coming up now and coming up for a perfect freeze onto the Russian stone. So the stones are more or less all on the line at 1 o'clock as we look down on the head from the bar end. Of those of you that know Bray Head, we can only spectate from one end where our commentary position, and this very appreciative crowd that we have here today watching this final of the 8th Glynhill Ladies International. So Russian second player Alexandra Sidorova. Tighter ice this time from Anna Sidorova, looking to do a bit of rearranging of the 3 stones clustered together. Makes contact, red onto yellow, and pushes the red shot out of play, out through the back. Fine. Sorry, it was some very appealing cups of coffee were passing us there, so not for us, unfortunately. So
I was saying earlier that we're starting to get quite a neat atmosphere in here. Very busy in the bar and on the rink side as well.
yes, it's good to see so many local, maybe not so local curlers appreciating the quality of the curling that's on display today, and hopefully we're all learning something, but maybe not achievable by us club curlers. We'll have to go full time, John, I think. Yeah. So the Koreans looking to take off the guard, driving it in. Oh, and drives the yellow Russian stone onto the pack of 2 and nudges the Russian stone out, and the red Korean stone may just be biting the 12 foot out in the side. So we've got a Korean guard about 10 feet short on the centre line almost, and on the overhead at about 9 o'clock this red Korean stone that I think is probably just counting. So Anna Sidorova indicating a draw round, so try and get hidden again behind this sole guard.
If you understand optics and optical technology, you'll know that where we have got our camera positions quite high off the ice, stones that look like they're outside the house might quite comfortably actually be sitting inside.
So a nice draw there, biting the button, but certainly visible. It just didn't curl to be totally protected by the red Korean guard. And Yeon Young Kim, the Korean skip, having a good look at it and holding the brush about 4 inches away, so I think we can expect to see this Russian stone disappearing. Seems to be a fairly clear line in. Again, a controlled weight. Koreans just down to 1 sweeper at the moment. It's maybe a candy break or something, so sweeping it perfectly past the guard. Good, great contact and a little roll in. Almost protected by that guard, but Anna Sidorova indicating a draw and hopefully a freeze onto the red Korean stone just played, which is biting the front of the 1 foot.
I'll make an apology now to the skip of the Korean team. I had your name spelt wrong on the webcast. I've now corrected that.
Well, it didn't affect my pronunciation, I don't think. So Margarita Famina's stone coming in looks to be perfectly placed and weighted. It just touches the yellow Korean stone and moves it back a foot. Still in the 1 foot though, and the yellow Russian stone biting the 4 foot, straddling the centre line. Yeon Young Kim indicating possibly a freeze at an angle that would allow her to remove that yellow intruder. Korean still lying shot, and of course they have last stone in this, the 6th end. So this is third Kyung Ai Kim, third player for the Korean team. I wonder if we have any viewers or listeners in Korea, John. We haven't had any emails in criticising my pronunciation, but yet again a perfect stone freezing onto the yellow.
We had an email the other night by the English team about my pronunciation of one of the names. Do you want to have a go, Alan?
Angharad. Angharad Ward at Durham University, who was playing for Anna Fowler's young English team. So there we are. Thank you for your interest. So Anna Sidorova now faced with one Korean counter, her own second, but 45-degree frozen by that last Korean stone, and wondering if she can hit that front red Korean stone and drive her own yellow to take out the shot. I think she would probably go herself, but she would leave her yellow stone in front of the red stone, which would then be the counter. So looks to be a good line. Sweepers on, off, holding back ring weight, tap tap, and gets that result. Forces the Korean stone that was on the button to the back of the 8 foot, but her own yellow Russian stone is sat out a little bit, which I think the Koreans can see. It now lies the shot, and I think we're going to get about a hack weight. Try and tap that one off to the right and fall in herself into the 1 foot. So it's great aggressive curling here, and no fear being shown by either skip. And Korean sweepers working on this stone. It's looking a bit tight on the guard. Catches the guard, but certainly opens up the head. And the Koreans, of course, do have last stone in this end, so just altering the options and the shape. So the Russian Yellowstone just biting the 1 foot on the right hand side as we look down the ice in front of tee is open. So is Anna looking to drive that yellow in the 8 foot onto the red, remove it, and possibly lie 2 with one of the shots in behind one of the Korean guards?
Well, if she can get that yellow at the front there across in behind that guard, and maybe her shooter will roll across behind the other guard.
Yeah.
That'd be
Well,
a lovely outcome.
Yep, certainly taking tight ice, so that looks like the Russian plan here. So skip Anna Sidorova playing her first stone. Controlled weight. The sweeper's working on it. Is it going to run over? They're working very hard. Are they going to get enough? Or are they just going to drive their own out? Drives their own, but gets enough of the Korean shot to put it out of play. Her own stone now lies on the button, but totally visible, I think, to the Koreans. Second shot looks to be the Korean stone lying at the back of the 8 foot. So Yeon Kim just discussing with her third, and they have selected again about a tap back weight, probably about hack to a gentle barrier, giving about a foot of ice. She won't want to come across the stone too much, otherwise there's a danger of forcing the yellow Russian stone onto that back red Korean at about 6:30. So anyway, here we go. First stone, Yeon Kim. Looks to be about hack to barrier. Sweeper's working hard on it. Comes perfectly past the front stone. Appreciative audience applauding that shot. Skimmed past the front Russian stone. Took the yellow Russian counter out and replaced it with their own. Still visible, so giving Anna Sidorova a similar shot, and I'm not sure if she can get enough angle to disturb the back red Korean stone, which she would be looking to do, otherwise it will give the opportunity of the Koreans to pick up a 2 here. So last stone, Anna Sidorova, 6th end. Sweepers sitting off this one.
Just be hanging a little bit high here.
A little bit, yeah. She's going to get enough of it. Removes the stone and falls over to just be biting the overhead. I would suggest it's still the Koreans at the back of the house that are lying.
So Korea last stone here.
Last stone.
What do you see? Take away that yellow on the left hand side, try and move it at all, try and get the 2 here?
If they feel they have to, and they're giving wide enough ice, just I think just to draw,
okay.
Nestle against it.
Okay, so quite confident that back red's the shot then?
Well, from where we are, but we have been known to be wrong. So a fairly crucial stage in this final, which is very delicately poised at 2-all. If the Koreans were to pick up a 2 here, then definitely advantage Korea with 2 ends to go. So skip Yeon Kim, who's been tremendously impressive. The whole Korean team actually have curled superbly over this weekend, and sweepers just nursing the stone down, keeping it clean. A little bit of sweeping now off again, so they must be pretty happy with the weight. And just working it into the desired position. Perfect drop. Coming to rest just short of the tee line, fully in the 4-foot.
Was the Russians conceding that looked like a 2 there, I think?
I think so. There was no second glance or measure required. Russians having a consolatory slap of the hands. Keep morale up. They can get a 2 back. So we're still waiting on on the score to go up for that last end, but we're fairly confident it was 2 points to Korea. And that would give them a 4-2 lead going into the 7th end. So, Korean lead stone being swept. Skip coming out to give a hand and comes to rest just off centre but fully in the 12 foot. And now looking to set up a corner guard here, I think. They got to try something different to count at least 2 points. Yes, very precisely placed. Corner guards about 10 feet short of the circles. Second lead stones, again taking the same ice, and the sweepers working towards that. And again, Skip Yeon Young Kim rushing out to assist her 2 sweepers, looking to bring this Korean stone round behind their first one, and plenty of energy being spent there, and comes in to half bite the 8 foot white circle. The stone's fairly close together. So Anna indicating the out turn this time and looking for a corner guard on the other side. Give herself options. So she must reckon that those 2 red Korean stones are close enough together to be removed at a later stage, should that be necessary.
Would you maybe suggest that Korea are quite happy to give away a single at this end? Make sure they keep the hammer into the 8th?
Well, that would be ideal, John, yes. I don't think they'd be too unhappy if that was the result. They would retain the hammer, going into the last end with a 1-shot advantage. However, indicating to remove one of these guards, the one that has just been played. And removing the guard and getting a very nice roll over to the centre line, almost guarding the 2 existing Korean stones in the head, but there is space there, and I think Anna Sidorova taking ice on the wider of the 2 Korean stones, indicating it's maybe time for a bit of removal. So Alexander Saitova, the Russian second, releasing a controlled weight again. The sweepers just nursing the stone down. They've certainly got the line through that gap. Nudges one of the lying Korean stones out of play to the back and drift off to the side themselves, just half biting the 12 foot. But still with that 1 red Korean stone half biting the 8 foot at the 7 o'clock position. So the Koreans, no hesitation, just remove that wide yellow Russian stone. Contact established, no roll, so again from the overhead it doesn't look as if it's biting, but that is of no import to Anna Sidorova, who's looking at this shot that is resting on the edge of the 8 foot. See if she can get a roll in behind the Korean guard and guarding the centre line. So indicating out turn take out this time. About a foot of ice, so not a heavy stone, just enough to probably hack weight. Alexandra Sidorova releasing her second stone of the 7th end. Sweeper's just keeping this one on its line. Certainly through the gap. Removes the Korean counter, doesn't give much of a roll. Is visible. But biting the front 8 foot, but the Koreans can see that one and indicating they would like a little rollover away from the centre line and possibly in behind the Russian guard. So quite tight ice. So a good barrier weight coming down here. The Korean sweepers just quite happy with the line, removes the Russian counter and gets a beautiful roll over to be half hidden behind the yellow Russian guards. So Korea in charge in this end, and with last stone with the Russians, but certainly posing plenty of problems here for Anna Sidorova. Just putting her other end of her brush down to ask Margarita Fomina how much of that stone can she see, and it wouldn't be a lot, I think. So Anna having a ponder. Still considering the options here, just a little tap of the brush in the ice, trying to make up her mind. Well, thinking about I don't know what she's thinking about. Taking ice just wide of centre line, maybe looking for a freeze or a wee tap on that stone. So, out turn draw. Coming down, the Russians now working the stone. And safely past the guard and drawing past the Korean stone. Is it going to run too far though? The Koreans skip working that stone, taking it to the back of the house, and it's just run too far, so the Koreans still lying the shot. I think the plan there was to draw behind the red Korean stone, and hopefully to lie the shot, but when the sweeping for the line, it's just taken the yellow Russian stone too far towards the back. So Yeon Young Kim indicating possibly a draw behind the centre guard to further increase the pressure on the Russian team. Out turn draw. And sweepers nursing this, just waiting for the curl. Got a bit of 4 foot curl here at Brayhead, so it's very good ice, good curling ice. Safely round the guard and coming in onto the centre line and fully into the 8 foot. So asking a further question of this Russian team. And almost parallel, so there's no chance really of a double here. I think Anna was having a look at that. I think she can see enough of that last played Korean stone certainly to maybe tap it back, and hopefully she would like a little 4 or 5 inch roll just in behind the short Korean guard. Giving about a foot and a half of ice, again controlled weight. Margarita Famina in charge of the delivery. The sweeper's working quite hard on this. We want it as close as possible to that. Oh, and just catches the guard and runs herself, unfortunately, out of play at the back of the house. So a further advantage for the Koreans there.
Four rolls left in this end.
Yeah, looking fairly favourable, I think, for the Koreans at this stage. And possibly looking for either a freeze on their lying shot, fully in the 8 foot in front of the tee line, or maybe even a little nudge or a little split, put it in behind the guard. But that again would open up the possible draw onto the 1 foot for the Russians. So. But the accuracy and the control of weight of both these teams has just been amazing to watch and experience. It's so Yeon-young Kim, a young Korean skip, releasing her first stone. The sweeper's indicating it's got plenty of running on it. Successfully passed the guard, taps up her own red stone, but puts it past the tee line, past the 4 foot, fully into the 8 foot. And Anna Sidorova can certainly see all of that stone, but the question is, how does she make her 2? So giving ice that we would consider would be appropriate for a draw, maybe half hoping to certainly freeze on that stone. But that again would leave the Korean skip the option of drawing onto her stone, as they would still be behind the tee line. So Anna Sidorova's first stone of this crucial end. Perfect balance, as all these curlers have. So when you watch them sliding out in practice, John, and they don't even use a brush, it's no balance required, it's all self-contained. So, and a stone coming down, the sweeper's sitting off it, it's wide enough to get past the first one. Is the weight perfect enough? She's pretty good. Is it going to just run past? No, she's perfect. Behind tee and behind the front 8 foot Korean stone at 45 degrees, so Russia lying one shot now. Koreans will be looking just to come enough either to rest on that or just tap it back, or maybe even just draw the shot just short of the button, which would make it very hard for Anna to get her two.
Yeah, a freeze here would put the Koreans in a fantastic position.
Well, they'd be forcing Anna to take a one in this seventh end. So just ice taken marginally inside the ice that Anna Sidorova had indicated. So Hyun Young Kim with a 4-2 advantage to play her last stone of the seventh end. Stone safely released, sweepers standing off. Certainly hanging wide, and there's a good play. Enough weight, still a bit of pace. And has she overshot?
There.
Oh, she has. So that gives Anna Sidorova a reprieve. She can draw onto that last played red Korean stone, and she'll pick up a two.
It looked like possibly they're going for sort of the hack weight tap back there to force Sidorova the difficult drawdown and just miscalculating how much ice was required there.
Yep. Well, she certainly took narrower ice than Anna's first draw, so Anna just moving that ice about 6 inches out from where the Korean ice was, so she's looking to come down onto that red Korean stone, biting the 4 foot, but behind the tee line.
So last of the end, Anna Sidorova probably looking here to draw down to get her two.
She's leaning a wee bit, watching it anxiously, crouched down. It's coming in, looks to be a good weight. Yep, they're moving on to it now, very happily. Sweeping it in, perfectly played. Well drawn. Anna Sidorova picks up 2 points in the seventh end, so we're all square at four shots each in this coming into the final end of this final of the 8th Glynhill Ladies International here at Braehead, and what a treat we're having. So, who's got the better nerves? We'll find out in the next 10 minutes. Advantage Korea, of course, because they now have the last stone. But pressure shots being responded to by both teams. So Anna indicating ice halfway out the 8 foot. Lead player Katerina Galkina in charge of releasing the lead stones for the Russian team. And drawing in towards the centre line. The Russian sweepers just moving on now. And coming perfectly to rest about 1 foot short of the head, so in club curling we would be quite happy with that, John. We'd be patting our lead in the back, I think. Doesn't happen often, right enough. Well, not in my club.
Of course, that sort of shot occurs when you've asked them to take something out.
Yes. So the Koreans looking to play a little tick shot here, but misses entirely, just very, very narrowly missed, but runs through the back of the house, so a let off there for the Russian team. So Anna giving again the same ice. Possibly asking for a repeat or maybe a little draw round. Maybe too early for that, but stone safely released and sweepers hanging off. It looks like a longer guard this time. Sweepers one final touch and perfect line. So Koreans moving out immediately to that guard, possibly looking for a double removal. No, don't think so. Maybe another little tick shot somewhere, because we are still in lead stones, of course. So ticked the
keen to get their shooting rock out of the centre of the sheet there.
Yeah. So Anna again indicating same ice, possibly looking to utilise that centre guard, or Alexandra Sidorova, the Russian second, has played her first stone of this last end, looking for another short guard. Safely over the hog line and covering half of the Russian shot that is sitting 1 foot short of the front of the house. So this time I think we'll maybe see an attempt at a double removal by the Koreans. Skip Young Kim taking ice on the yellow Russian stone, and yeah, certainly a heavier weight this time. The sweepers working on it. Narrowly misses removing both stones, but certainly the short guard out of play. So are we going to see a repeat? Of course, at the end of the day it may come down to Young Kim. If the Russians can't get anything in the house, they've got to try at some stage to pose a problem, but it may give Young Kim just the opportunity to make a draw into the 4 foot of the button, not only to win the game but to win the championship. But there's still a bit of ice to be covered before we can find that out. So Anna giving slightly wider ice this time. They might be looking to either fully cover that stone in the front, 1 foot of the front of the house, or she might be thinking it's time we got something in there. So looks about draw weight. And trying to get a little split, and just nudges her stone to bite the 12 foot at the front of the house. That's of no great concern to the Koreans. They may get a double here, but certainly wanting to take off the guard. So there's maybe 3 feet of ice between these two yellow Russian stones, so plenty of weight behind this one.
Staying quite high though.
Could be a tickle, nudges the shorter of the yellow Russian stones, which in turn moves the Russian stone that was just biting the 12 foot, and it's now fully in the 8 foot, but wide open and just behind T. So Anna indicating Maybe another tap, or maybe just a guard, or maybe a draw round that short yellow Russian stone that's just to the right of the centre line, but a foot and a half short. Perfect guard weight again. So she's covering her short rather than short stone.
Korea here going to try again for some sort of double or triple takeout, I think.
Yep, yep. Young Kim indicating with a wave of both arms that I would like these stones removed from play, please. I presume that's Korean for remove these, please.
Make these stones go bye-bye.
Yeah. So, ice right on the stone, just at the edge of it. And big weight. Oh, drives the short guard, which whistles past the first Russian stone and missed the counting shot by about 3 millimeters, I think. So.
Well, you do metric.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've taught me well, John. You've taught me well. I'm catching on. So back to Anna and Margarita Famina. So this time playing the intern. Another short stone. Almost identical position as the previous stone, again leaving the Koreans to decide whether it's time to remove more rocks, and Young Kim having a second look, just measuring up the angles. Put her brush down exactly the same place. Moved it an inch nearer, because she only missed by an inch last time, so trusting her third player to adjust by an inch. So again, good crunch weight coming up. Contact in the guard, and this time she is successful. Takes out the two front Russian stones, just leaving the sole Russian counter totally exposed on the other side of the house. So very few places to hide a shot that would be useful. The only two remaining guards are well out, just covering the edge of the 12 foot, and that would leave the whole house for the Korean skip to draw to for this championship. But so the Russians discussing where to put this stone. Well, looks as if they may be deciding to try and draw behind those guards, Sean.
Looks like it trying to split the house. Bit of pressure.
Yeah. So that or draw over on the other side, but that would put the two yellow Russian stones pretty close together for the Koreans to remove.
Unless she's confident she'll get a freeze here.
Well, that would be an option.
The way the handle was turned on her hand, looks like she's going to come on to the same side.
Yeah,
definitely trying towards that yellow.
Yep, playing the intern. Looking for a perfect freeze here on our counting shot.
Oh, looks like guard. Interesting.
Yeah. It is, yeah. Guard played.
Well placed as well.
Yes. So forcing the Koreans maybe to come in and freeze in that stone. So 3 stones left, 2 Korean red stones to come, and 1 last yellow stone for Anna Sidorova to try and take one against the head here. Score at 4 all, so all to play for both teams. So Yeon Kim releasing her in turn. The sweeper's working on it, quite far out. It's got a good enough line. The sweeper's just easing off now. Squeezes past the guard with a couple of inches to spare and comes up perfectly just to rest, and whoa, I would hazard a guess that the Koreans just lie the shot, but it's pretty close. Anyway, that forces Anna's hand, that she has to now come up and attempt to freeze onto that recently played Korean stone, but to lie the shot. So that looks like the plan. In turn freeze onto the red Korean stone lying on the tee line. So Anna Sidorova to play her last stone, possibly in this championship. I can't see there being a clear out by the Koreans, so crucial last stone for the Russian team. Sweepers coming on now, working hard at it. Certainly past the guard. A bit wider than the Koreans. Has she overcooked it? Oh, brushes against, takes the shot. So there's 3 stones locked together in a sort of inverted L shape. So Korean skip Yeon Kim has got those stones to draw against to win the 8th Glynhill Ladies International Championship at their very first attempt. They've been so impressive. If I were a betting man, of course I am not, but I would certainly favour Yeon Kim to make this shot. But there again, a shot to win the championship, who knows. So Yeon Kim, last stone, safely released in turn draw. Taking plenty of ice. I think she's ignoring those Russian stones. And the steeper's standing well back. She's just looking to draw the button. There's a bit of movement on this. Has she overcooked it? Oh goodness, she's overcooked it.
Oh dear, oh no.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. However, congratulations to Anna Sidorova and the Russian ladies on finally winning this, the Glynhill ladies. And they're dancing and hugging. Oh, what a shame. The Korean rink have played so well. So well. She must have been so confident of her draw weight there, John, that she just ignored the Russian cluster there and just went for the draw and just overthrew it. Anyway, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us here at Braehead for the 8th Glynhill Ladies International. It's been a fascinating competition and richly deserved by Anna Sidorova's Russian rink. They've been coming here for a good few years now, and finally they've got their name on the trophy. So with that happy note, we'll thank you for being with us and say goodbye from me, Alan Sloan, and John. I'll let you say goodnight as well.
Thank you, Alan. That's us going to wrap up here. Alan's running off, I think, to possibly do some awarding of trophies and medals. We're going to wait and see exactly how things are laid out. If we can get a little bit of the medal ceremony in shot for you, we'll give it a go. Ice Tech's looking like they're going to be setting up on sheet 3. Just wait and see. But it's been a fantastic weekend of curling. Sure you saw the result there. On John Kim, just missing out there on the draw, and Sidorova taking it at least 5-4, quite possibly 6-4. But certainly one of the best finals we've seen at Glynhill. So I've been Jonathan Heggie. I hope you've enjoyed the webcast this weekend. Any comments you want to feedback to us, you can get me at webmaster@coverbehead.co.uk. But thanks for your time, hope you enjoyed, and that's us away.